My wife was acting up, so I traumatized her forever. Danny and I had been married for 7 years, and for about 5 of those years, every single fight ended the exact same way. Didn't matter if we were arguing about what to have for dinner or something serious, she'd always drop the bomb. Maybe we should just get divorced then. The first time she said it, my stomach dropped. I thought our marriage was ending. I apologized like crazy, bought her flowers the next day, even suggested couples therapy. She acted like nothing happened, just went back to normal like she didn't just threaten to blow up our entire life, but then it happened again and again. Anytime she didn't get her way, out came the threat I wanted to visit my parents for Christmas. Divorce threat. I said we couldn't afford a trip to Hawaii. Divorce threat. I suggested our son Ethan go to the public school instead of the expensive private one. You guessed it. She'd stand there with her arms crossed, that look on her face like she already won. Fine, Kellen. If you're gonna be like this, maybe we should just end it. And I'd back down every time. Because I didn't want Ethan growing up in a broken home. Because I still remembered the woman I married. Because I was scared. But that last time was different. We were in the kitchen. Ethan was asleep upstairs. She wanted to enroll him in this private school that cost more than my car payment. I said no, we couldn't swing it. She escalated fast. You never support anything I want, she said. You know what? Maybe we should just get divorced. I'll take Ethan and you can figure out your life alone. Something in me just clicked. I looked at her, really looked at her, and realized she didn't mean it. She never meant it. It was just her weapon. Her way of winning every argument without actually having to discuss anything. So I didn't respond. I just nodded slowly and walked to the office. That night, I started planning. Not emotional planning, cold, calculated planning. For 2 months, I pretended everything was totally fine. I still made breakfast. Still took Ethan to soccer practice. Still kissed her goodbye when I left for work. But during my lunch breaks, I was meeting with a lawyer named Greg who wore too much cologne but knew his stuff. I opened a bank account she didn't know about. Started moving small amounts of money every week. Got a P.O. box downtown. I even found a small apartment 3 blocks away that needed work but was cheap. Bought it cash using money from an old inheritance she forgot I had. And I documented everything. Every single time she threatened divorce, I wrote it down with the date and time. I took screenshots of texts where she said she'd make sure I never saw Ethan again if I didn't agree with her. I recorded one conversation where she literally said, "I'll tell the court whatever I need to tell them." The whole time she had no idea. She thought she had me trapped. Thought I'd never actually leave because I was too scared or too weak or too whatever. Our 8th anniversary was on a Saturday. I booked her a spa day. Massage, facial, the works. Told her I wanted her to relax and that I'd handle everything at home. She actually teared up, saying maybe I was finally learning to appreciate her. The second she left, I called my buddy Jason. We loaded my stuff into his truck. Didn't take much. Just clothes, my laptop, some photos of Ethan. I left the furniture, the TV, all of it. Didn't care. On the kitchen counter, I left a folder. Inside were divorce papers, already filed. Financial documents showing the separate account. A parenting plan I'd had drawn up. And a printed list of every single time she'd threatened divorce in the past 2 years. 23 times I'd counted. Then I left my key and walked out. She called me 47 times that afternoon. 47. I didn't answer. Finally, she left a voicemail. She was screaming so loud I had to hold the phone away from my ear. "You can't do this! You can't just leave! I didn't mean it! Kellen, answer the phone!" I texted back once. "You said we should get divorced." I agreed. "See you in court." The next few weeks were chaos. She showed up at my new place twice. The second time I had to call the cops because she wouldn't leave. She tried to turn our friends against me, but most of them had heard her divorce threats over the years. They weren't shocked. The court stuff was brutal, but Greg was worth every penny. When the judge read through all her threats, especially the ones about keeping Ethan from me, his face changed. Judges really don't like it when you weaponize your kids. She tried to cry, tried to say she was just upset and didn't mean any of it, but there were screenshots, recordings, dates and times, her own words. I got primary custody. 50-50 would have been fine with me, but the judge said her behavior showed instability. She got every other weekend and 1 weeknight dinner.